What is going on, y'all? It's your man Mike Titan here with my man Bryan Greer, and we all are here to talk about the fight of the century, the fight that everybody has been waiting for the past 5 years, the Burger King versus Jimmy Kimmel on pay-per-view. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all. We are here to talk about the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fight this past Saturday. Different opinions from different people, but starting off, Bryan Greer, how you doing today, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. I don't know if I'm a little confused actually, to be honest with you. After hearing Evander Holyfield say that he saw Manny Pacquiao winning that fight, I don't know if Mike Tyson poked his eyes out like he bit his ear at one time. Because after that fight, I'm a little confused by Evander Holyfield. But what's new?
Nothing much, man. Yeah, Tyson must have bit off a little bit more than, I don't know, Evander Holyfield must have had some air seepage from his ear into his brain. I don't know, but long story short, Mayweather won the fight, unanimous decision, as everybody pretty much predicted. This, in my opinion, was pretty much dominated by Mayweather. He pretty much does what Mayweather does. He's a very defensive person. He controlled the fight with jabs. He kept Pacquiao out, and even when Pacquiao got close and it looked like he was landing flurries on him, Mayweather was just sitting there, you know, blocking, letting Manny just tire himself out. But what I want to say about this is I have a newfound respect for Mayweather. Reason I'm saying this is that in this light, after seeing all this, you know, build up for the hype and, you know, hearing all this stuff and seeing how he was post-fight, you know, I say that he is an artist. Reason why I say he is an artist is I heard this one quote from somebody that just stuck with me, and is the reason why I do a lot of the creative content that I do, is that people say, what is the meaning of art? To start up a conversation. What does Floyd Mayweather do? He starts up one hell of a conversation. I guarantee you 95.6% of any of your social media timeline was talking about this fight. When you have people's parents, grandparents, babies, cousins, uncles, people who don't even follow boxing talking about this fight, talking about who won, Mayweather or Pacquiao, that to me is an art that very few people on this earth can come close to, that Floyd Mayweather has the ability to do. Now, there's all these, you know, people saying like, oh, I hate him because he hits women and stuff like that, and he went to jail. It's like, all right, well, you know, nobody's saying that he's picking him to be your role model or your child's role model, but the man is an excellent businessman. In my opinion, in my short time watching boxing, he is arguably one of the greatest fighters. I mean, you can say what you want about, you know, his caliber of his opponents, that he's not that great of an offensive boxer. 48-0 is 48-0 regardless. You got to remember, these are pro boxers. These are professional boxers. Like, that's like a team in the NBA going, that's like the Spurs going 82-0 in an NBA season. They'll say like, oh, well, you know, they mostly played Eastern Conference and stuff like that, or the team that they played, their main player was injured. Like, that's besides the fact the team still won all the games in their season. So that's just my whole point about it. I feel like after this fight, you know, already submitted, I feel like even if Mayweather would have lost, he still would have been submitted as one of the greats, just simply for his presence and his fighting in the ring. He does a lot of talking. He backs up his talking with his fight in the ring. And I personally feel like that's just what makes him one of the greats in and out the ring. The ability to pretty much just shut down everything and be like, hey, look at me fight, and bring in all this money, and then still have the skill and the technical prowess to back it up in the ring.
You said it perfectly. This guy comes out every fight and performs. Okay, this is boxing, not brawling, as we were talking about before the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that there is skill to this. Okay, his technical skills are almost unmatched in the sport, in the history of the sport. His counterpunching, his jab is still lightning fast. I mean, the way he is able to, you know, just bounce off of the ropes and escape the jabs tonight against Pacquiao, who, you know, is a very high volume puncher. It was incredible to see, and he just continues to do it. No matter how big the fight, no matter how much pressure is on him, he just makes it look easy.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I mean, I'm speechless.
Yeah, I'm very impressed too. I mean, you gotta try imagine this. Try imagine being in his shoes, where literally everybody has a microscope on you. Everybody wants to see you lose. Well, not everybody, but majority of people want to see you lose.
They come to see him lose. Let's be honest here.
Imagine going to work and everybody at your job wants you fired, and any little small thing you do, they will bring up and they will talk about you. They will slander you on social media. They will, have protests about you. Just imagine that type of pressure every day you go into work. That's what Floyd Mayweather has to deal with. Now, I by no means have any idea what it feels like to even be Floyd Mayweather for a minute, but I can imagine just as a human being, just of the regular norms of pressures of life, all that pressure on me, I wouldn't be able to handle it, me personally. So that takes a very strong-minded, strong-willed person just to deal with that type of pressure. And then also the pressure of being undefeated. It's like people is like, all right, well, is this next fight going to be the next one that he loses? Is this going to be the fight?
I've been hearing this for years.
Yeah, exactly. We've been hearing this for years. Like, is this the fight that he's finally going to lose? He's finally going to get that one where that zero is, and it wasn't. So I just commend Mr. Mayweather. He may not be the most goodest person in the world, alleged whatever that you have him, but you can't deny his skill, his talent, and his drive, and his just being able to deal with all this stuff that has come his way with this successful boxing career.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, everybody wants to talk about what's going on outside the ring. I want to talk about, just inside the ring, because we know that there's a lot of athletes and a lot of people who have, things outside the ring that we do not agree with. But let's just talk about what he does inside the ring, because that's what everybody pays for, allegedly. Yeah. So I don't want to hear all this other stuff, because believe me, people come to see him lose, as it was, against Pacquiao. And once again, put on a flawless performance. And like I was saying at the beginning of the show, I don't know what Evander Holyfield was thinking, because like I said, I don't know if Mike Tyson got a hold of him again, but that's the only reason I can give to him thinking that Manny Pacquiao won, because Manny Pacquiao said he won, but I think he took a few uppercuts and a few jabs in 12 rounds that kind of might have distorted his logic, So I'm pretty sure he's pretty happy with that paycheck though.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be to lose and get 120 million.
Yeah.
I would just lay down the ring for 12 rounds.
Yeah, whatever you want, Mr. Mayweather. That's why he thanked him at the weigh-ins. He said, "Thank you." Yes, I would thank him too. Whatever else you want, Mayweather, I'm good for. 120 million. I'll do whatever you need me to do, because I'm pretty sure he can pay a few bills and buy a few things with 120 million. I'm only assuming, because I definitely don't have that kind of money.
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to get 120 bucks.
Exactly.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and kind of jump into some of the details of the fight. Mayweather, the first couple of rounds, he came out in a style that you never see. He took the offensive and was very, just great at establishing the pace of the fight. Taking the center of the ring, establishing his right jab, just dominant as far as I was concerned. The first two rounds, really did let Pacquiao really get off on him the first two rounds, and really just was really just very efficient and very effective with his skill set. And in the third round, I think he ramped it up a little bit more when he started getting to the body on Pacquiao and really putting the pressure on him. I thought the first three rounds that Pacquiao was not going to really make much of this a fight, but in the fourth, sixth, and 10th rounds, especially the fourth round, Pacquiao did get Mayweather against the ropes. So I know you had something to say about that, Mike.
Yeah, he got him up against the ropes, and for lack of a better words, to the naked eye, it may have seemed like that Pacquiao had Mayweather in trouble, but if you watch the fight closely and watch Mayweather, every time he had Mayweather on the ropes and he threw them flurries and stepped back, Mayweather just shook his head and said no. You realize Manny Pacquiao, you seen that commercial that they had when they were like he was with whatever, like his commercial agent or something, and he was like, "Hey, the fight's going on." He was like, "Well, that's what you said last time, but it's a commercial." And he was like, "Yeah, it's really going to happen." And he started standing up and like doing this. That's all he was doing. He was just punching air. He was just punching wrist and ankles. He got a couple of shots in, but I mean, if you've watched a boxing match and you saw somebody get somebody on the ropes, when somebody's on the ropes and they're throwing flurry punches like that, you see the person's head they're trying to punch move back and move side to side with the punches, which means that they're hitting them.
Yes.
Pacquiao was not hitting Mayweather at all. Mayweather was just sitting there. It's like, that's all you got? All right, let me jab you a couple of times to step you back. You know, hit him with a hook. There was one round where he just like hit him with like 2 or 3 hooks in a consecutive fashion, which got Pacquiao back a little bit. He pretty much just had the game plan. It's like, I'm gonna come here, frustrate you a little bit, win a couple of rounds, let you tire yourself out. By the end of like the last couple of rounds, Mayweather was just pretty much doing whatever he wanted at will, which he was doing pretty much the whole fight, but it was more apparent in the later rounds because Pacquiao tired himself out.
Yeah, he did. You know, he allowed him to, throw those flurries, but they were not really making a lot of impact. You know, they were basically, like you said, hitting his wrists, his elbows, and everything. And those other rounds going to the end of the fight. I mean, that 11th round by Mayweather was the best round, I believe. He was just starting to tee off on him, and actually almost, I think, put Pacquiao on the ground. He was just so fresh at the end of the fight. That's what he does. He is just so well conditioned, and he allows his opponents to tire themselves out, thinking that they're going to, go for the big knockout and everything, and they just don't pace themselves. They never do, and that's the thing that fighters do. He's coming there wild and all of that. Remember, Mayweather is more of quality over quantity of punches. He always throws more quality punches, and his jab is connecting. He's always connecting. He may not throw a lot of punches, but when he does throw, he is connecting, and that is the art of boxing. I know that Pacquiao is right. There's a science to this. And that's the thing about it, is that a lot of people seem not to realize that, is that Pacquiao's going to just, going to Speedy Gonzalez and just hitting the ropes and hitting nothing but, nothing at all. And it's like the crowd's just going, ooh, and ah, and all that. But, you look at it, and it's just, there goes, Mayweather again with the jab and that uppercut. You saw the uppercut in the 11th round. And it stunned, Pacquiao. It's like, he keeps his composure better also than any boxers we were talking about. You have to keep your composure, and that's something that he does better than any other boxer. And I mean, you got to give him credit. I don't care if you don't like Mayweather, you have to give him credit for that, because this fight right here shows how brilliant he is once he gets in that square ring.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much from start to finish, he looked the same, meaning that like he never got gassed. He never looked like that he was in any, I never really felt like he was in any real danger. Although I would say that I'm mad that the amount of times that he put him in the head, like he just didn't DDT him one time. I mean, you could have did it, Mayweather. You may have got like 1 or 2 points taken off, but you won like 118-10, 116-12. You could have took those 2 points. I just want to see him DDT him, like literally just DDT the crap out of him, just so it could be on Sports Center. But apparently that's illegal in boxing or something like that. But yeah, I feel like going into this fight, me personally, I knew there was not going to be a knockout. Main reason being is that I believe Mayweather hasn't knocked anybody out since like 2009, 2010. Pacquiao is the same. Matter of fact, Pacquiao got the last knockout he got knocked out, which that was just a mean frenzy on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, which I actually saw some of those before this fight. And what people have to understand, because if you look on your social media timelines, you'll hear people say like, oh, this fight was boring, this was mad, this didn't live up to the hype. I don't know how you would think that 2 men who are 146 pounds and like very quick would be a knockout. Like that's more for like the heavyweights, light heavyweights. Not even in UFC do you see that many knockouts in like the featherweight and bantamweight classes. Like you look at Demetrius Johnson, who fought at the last UFC 187. He submitted his opponent with 2 seconds left. Like he wins his fights kind of the same way Floyd Mayweather does. He has excellent cardio, and by the time the 4th, 5th round comes around, his opponent is dog tired and he just wins by points. Now, to me, I felt like it was a good fight. I felt like it was an excellent showcase of Mayweather's skills as a defensive fighter and as somebody who knows boxing in and out. Like I said, the man's been boxing since he was 8. His dad was a great boxer. His uncle was a great boxer. It just runs in his bloodline, his family. I just feel like it was worth the money to me to watch the fight. People who say that it didn't live up to the hype are probably just those casual people who were just watching, expecting it to be. It's like, you make the fight what you want it to be. If you go into it expecting it to be an amazing knockout, then you just set yourself up for disappointment. If you go into it being like, all right, Mayweather is going to try to tacticiously win this fight, and we'll see if Manny Pacquiao can counter that, which he didn't, then you got what you got out of the fight. But I would just say that this just showed how dominant Mayweather was, and I'm personally interested to see who we would fight next, because apparently this next fight is supposed to be his last fight.
Yeah, and if it is, you're seeing, one of the great fighters ever, not just of his era, ever, no matter what you think of him or whatever, because, unfortunately, he's in an era of hate.
Exactly. He's
fighting an era where everybody hates everything sucks. Unfortunately for him, he's fighting this Twitter era, Facebook, Instagram, where everything is a joke, everything is, mad, like you said. After the fight, people talk about it was rigged, it's this and that. He doesn't fight. If you want to see brawler, go watch Butterbean on VHS. Kimbo Slicer's fight next month, Mike. If you want to see brawling and just see wild punches and no skill as far as going out there with any kind of real game plan, hey. Those two people are the people that you'll love, but if you want to see somebody who has a science and an art to it, then Floyd Mayweather is your guy. And that's something that, people take for granted, because you're never going to see this again. Once he retires, you're never going to see this again. I mean, this guy works hard as any boxer ever. I watched a lot of the build up to this between HBO and Showtime, who did an excellent job covering this. Staying away from all the pop culture of anything, just sticking to the fight. It is incredible, his workout regimen.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that he's a person that stays in shape. From what I've heard, I believe that he doesn't drink at all. He doesn't smoke at all.
They never talk about that, Mike.
Yeah, they never talk about it. They'll gladly put out that he allegedly beat a woman, but they won't say that he doesn't smoke or drink or anything like that. Because exactly, because I actually had a older friend who was a very good boxer back in the day, like in the 80s and 90s, and he was 43 years old, and he's told me he's never smoked or drank in his life. Whole life.
I'm pretty sure he's a lot healthier for it.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. He said, like, I'm 42 with the body of a 20-year-old. So you gotta imagine, you gotta imagine that all that smoking and drinking does affect you as an athlete, which is why most athletes choose to stay away from it. But like I said, I do feel like that just because he is who he is, it makes him an easy target, that every little small thing that he does or every allegation from something that's brought on to him is just magnified, opposed to the stuff that people don't talk about, like his training regimen and stuff like that.
To always dislike Floyd Mayweather. I've come to that resolution a long time ago, way before this fight. And, they come to see him lose. They don't come to see his skill set or anything like that. So until, he loses, which probably won't happen, people are going to be disappointed, but they will show up.
Yeah.
Guarantee you that, though. They will show up to hate watch. Yeah, and that's something that's unfortunate, because like I said, if he fought in a different era, people would probably have a different view of him. But like I said, when you fight in this era now where everything sucks and he makes all this money, even though he works hard for it, and it has earned every dollar he gets. Oh well, this and that. I'm not gonna give the pay-per-view money for that.
Yeah, most definitely, man, most definitely. So yeah, like I said, overall, I thought the fight was great. I expected Mayweather to win the fashion he did, and he did. Do you have any closing statements before we get out of here, man?
Just, enjoyed the fight. Just want to know from the people in the comment section, what'd you think of the fight? Do you expect more from Mayweather Pacquiao? Did you think that it should have been, a unanimous decision, split decision? Were you crazy like Vander Holyfield and thought Manny Pacquiao won? We want to hear from you out there. Do you think there should be a rematch? Which I don't understand why, but hey, if you do, let us know. So just want to hear from the people as always. subscribe to our channel.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Very well put, man. Like I said, I want to thank y'all for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know below, if you're a Pacquiao fan, do you really think Pacquiao won the fight? Do you think Mayweather was just running around the whole fight? If you're a Mayweather fan, just go ahead and gloat down low and let them Pacquiao fans know that Mayweather is a boss. And I'll leave on this final statement right here. I'm no way saying that I'm a Mayweather fan, but just thinking from a general point of view, if you have any negative ill will towards Mayweather, his lifestyle, the way he lives, how he's cocky and he can back it up, he has 180 million reasons why he doesn't care. Just want to let that sink in for a little bit. But thank y'all for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm Mike Titan. That's my co-host Bryan Greer, and we are out of here, and we'll catch y'all next time. Peace.